Yeah, so your brain, it will lie to you flat out. Its job is not to make you successful. Its job is to keep you alive.
Ever feel like you've invested in all the courses and coaching, but when it comes time to take action, an invisible wall stops you from doing the very thing you know you should do? Today, we're sitting down with Jennie Hayes, an execution block specialist, mindset mentor, and former paramedic of over 20 years. Jennie helps entrepreneurs clear the subconscious blocks and safety mechanisms that keep them stuck in self-doubt. Today, she's sharing how our brains lie to keep us safe, why traditional mindset work often misses the real problem, and how body-led brainspotting can permanently remove the blocks holding you back. Before we dive into that, did you know that we have a free community of spirit-led leaders just like you? Head over to authenticvoiceleadership.com right now to join the conversation and grab all of the exclusive free resources from today's guest. So welcome, Jennie. I am so glad that you are here. Let's dive in. We have so many good things to talk about today.
First of all, Leslie, I want to tell you how much I've been looking forward to this. We had such a great meeting, and I really enjoyed getting to know you, and I think this is going to be so fun today. I'm Jennie Hayes. I'm an execution block specialist, and what I do is I help entrepreneurs who have done all the courses, they've spent all the freaking money that's in their pockets, pretty much, and they still can't do the thing. They keep looking for another course or another coach because, well, this time it'll work. I do it because that's where I used to be. And I found this technique that changed my world completely. And I learned it's not about the strategy. It's about aligning the strategy, but it's about breaking the blocks, those execution blocks that keep you stuck.
Oh, I love that so much. Can you talk a little bit more about execution blocks and what that is?
Yes. So we all see them. We see them everywhere we go. People call them imposter syndrome, analysis paralysis, self-sabotage. The list goes on. But basically, it's the thing inside when you go to do something that says, I'm not doing that. Even though you know strategically you need to, even though it's been sitting on your desk for months, what it is basically is it traces back to something old, and it's your brain protecting you. And it's saying, yeah, we're not going to do this. We can't be seen that way, or this isn't perfect enough. And it will shut you down. And what I found is that usually it takes a lot more than just, I'm going to push through this, or, well, I just tried this new strategy and I'll work my way around it.
Wow. So tell me about the brain and how it keeps us safe in that way.
Yeah. So your brain, it will lie to you flat out. Its job is not to make you successful. Its job is to keep you alive. And unfortunately, fortunately, in the world we're in today, our risks are not the animal that's chasing us to kill us, right? It's not the guy hidden around the corner in the dark alley before there was lights. It's actually the stress. It's the putting out the new thing. It's the being seen. It's the risk of isolation from other people, which used to kill us, right? Back in many millennia ago, if you were ousted from your family or your tribe, you died. We have this picture of this lone wolf surviving and being tough, and that was few and far between. Most people who weren't part of community died. And so your brain says, I can't allow that to happen. And so I'm going to protect you in spite of yourself.
In spite of yourself. Yes. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. And it takes a long time for people to understand that, because even in regular life, when you're going through life, I used to see this in the diet industry a lot. I used to be an insulin resistance coach, and I learned that people don't get a dopamine hit from cheating on their diet. They get a dopamine hit from deciding to cheat on their diet. And so what happens is that you get the thought in your head, It's like, oh, well, I'm just going to have a couple of Oreos. No, I'm not going to have them. I'm not going to have them. I don't need them. It's not good for me. Not going to eat those. And the minute that your brain convinces you, you can have those Oreos. It's okay. Now the brain's thinking sugar, fat, sustainability, keep us alive. If you quit eating, you're going to die. I'm going to get you to eat those friggin' Oreos. So the minute that you allow the brain to get what it wants, it releases the dopamine and you feel better, which is why when you're staring at that blog post that you need to put on your website, but it's the first one and you're afraid and you're worried about it and your brain says, you know what? You probably need to wait a little bit. It's not the right time of year for that. Or, you need to be focusing on here. There's some laundry to fold. And the minute your brain goes, yep, we're going to do that instead, you get this dopamine hit. You get a reward, which is why you feel better after you didn't do the thing that you know inside you need to do to build your business. And then the guilt comes back because not only did you not do it, but you didn't do it and it felt good.
Oh, goodness. Is this why people procrastinate so much?
This is a big piece of it. Now, there's also productive procrastination, which I didn't know even existed until a few years ago when I spent money on one of those really big courses that I can't say I didn't need. But anyway, productive procrastination, when you have a mind that's atypical, so neurodivergent is the term that's flying around right now, ADHD, whatever. Sometimes you have to sit things in the back of your head and allow things to ferment, to come to full life. So there is productive procrastination where you're still putting the pieces together. And then there's non-productive procrastination, which is usually due to a block, where the pieces are mostly together and you're going to go do it because it needs to get done. And you're like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. I'm going to turn away and walk.
That is fascinating. I didn't realize, sometimes I procrastinate, but I think it's the productive procrastination because I'm not a natural procrastinator, where I used to be. But somewhere in my doctorate program taught me that I wasn't going to get anywhere in life if I didn't finish this thing. And I was the only one setting my deadlines.
Right.
So I learned how to do that. But wow, I didn't realize there were two different types of procrastination. And so do you work with people that are neurodivergent and have focus issues too with your work?
Most definitely, because I'll tell you, a lot of entrepreneurs are neurodivergent. We don't fit in a box. But before I dive into that, I really want to go back to what you said about your procrastination. So
Okay.
We're talking about blocks. You are a prime example of somebody that your block is going to stick out like a sore thumb. Because someone like yourself, you just said, went through grad school. I had to learn to set my own deadlines and do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet there's somewhere in your life that you set that deadline and then you're like, I'm going to reset the deadline. You know what? I'm going to push that deadline out just a little further. And then, I'm going to do that again. And it's not everywhere. It's just that one area that it just feels like you can't quite stick to those rules and that deadline. Would you identify with that?
Yes. Let me think. Sometimes I feel like I stress about my deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to push them back, a few of them, because I was not able to get done what my overambitious self thought I could.
Right. And that's a little different than the person that's pushing it out because it just feels yucky to do it. I see this a lot with networking. So you and I met through a really cool thing called List Match. So if you guys haven't checked that out, check it out. It's awesome.
Yes.
But and so we're both aggressively networking. But what I see consistently in the people I work with is that they know they need to network. They know the value of networking, but it's like, okay, well, next Friday, I'm going to go do such and such. I'm going to send the emails. I'm going to start picking up the phone. I'm going to reach out to people. And Friday comes and they're like, oh, there's something else I need to do, or it just doesn't feel good. And so they're like, okay, I'll push that till the next Friday. Well, I can skip this Friday. It's okay. I can skip this Friday. It's okay. So it's not about not being productive. It's about the lengthening and pushing away of the task because it doesn't align with what you think you need to be doing, even though you know you need to be doing it. And so
Okay, I found it.
You found it.
I found it. It's not the networking, but it is the workshops. Like I want to have a Q&A workshop where we get together and go deep in a few things every month. And I've only done one. So that's it. That's the thing. We found it.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, that is not a scheduling issue. It's not that just adds too much weight to my plate. It's something inside that's, this, yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it, but gosh, there's something there. And then that's what we dig down into and we figure out what kind of block it is. And then usually it goes away really fast.
Wow. I can tell you it's nerves. It's like, do I know what I'm going to talk about? And I'm not really sure exactly why I procrastinate on that particular thing because I really enjoy it once I show up.
The question you just asked shouts imposter syndrome to me.
Oh,
there's
really?
a piece of you that says, I don't know that I have what I need to do to get this done. Are people going to see that I don't know what I'm doing? Would you align with that?
Maybe. Sometimes. I feel pretty confident with my content, but what do I not feel confident about in it?
What is it that's keeping you that says, I don't know how to do that? Even though you know how to do it, because you just said you love it.
Yeah, I guess it could be, oh goodness, I'm not prepared for like...
Here's the good thing.
Here's my brain. Here's like we're gonna dig in my brain a little bit. Yes, I love it.
Here's the thing though. This is the coaching side of what I do is actually the digging in, helping you identify it. The nice thing about the technique that I use is that you don't have to do any of that. All you got to do is you come and you go, you know what? I want to do the workshops, and when I go to do it, it just feels like it's too much, and I wonder what to start the conversation and get the questions going. And then we figure out where it is in your body. We figure out where it is in your vision. And then we lock down and we clear it. And it's usually gone in 1 to 3 sessions. And so it's
awesome.
Really fast. You don't have to understand it. I just get really curious and I want to know. So.
Leading into this, and as you're like poking around a little bit, I love this kind of stuff, by the way. Poke around in my brain all you want to. I'm here for it. So one of the things that I'm thinking about is I used to really push off any kind of call that would have sales attached to it. I've had to walk through a lot of things with it. Now, I love to have the coaching conversations that people show up to. So if we book a complimentary coaching session, I absolutely enjoy it. I love it. And then I don't want to pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I think some of that my audience is probably going to relate to, and being just quite real and vulnerable in this. I don't want to ask for the sale. I just want to serve the person in front of me. And I do understand that what I have to offer will serve them.
Right.
And so talking about what I do is going to serve them. But for some reason, I still don't want to do it.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to ask for the, hey, you know what? I think what I have will help you. I'll say that. Do you want to do it? Okay. Yes, but how much does it cost? I don't want to talk about the cost. Let's not talk about the cost. Okay. It's worth every penny.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about it.
And that is 100% a block, because you're enjoying the whole thing. You love the whole call until it gets down to the number. The
Yes.
reality is that you know the number. And you know why the
Mm-hmm.
number is the number it is. It's not just because you pulled a number out of the sky. It's because
Right.
costs, there's trainings, there's hours involved, there's all of this other stuff involved. But there's a little piece of you that says, are they going to judge me? Are they going to reject me? Are they going to push it away? Are they going to feel that what I'm offering is worth it? In the coaching world, and this is unfortunate, but it's real, we have used the phrase charge what you're worth so much that we have begun to identify what we charge as what we are worth. And so when someone rejects that, they're also rejecting who we are. And so I firmly believe that you never charge what you're worth. You charge what the outcome that you're giving is worth.
That's, you know, that's it right there.
And sometimes just knowing that is enough for people to go, okay, I can fix that. I can now, when I'm doing the sales pitch, I can feel okay about it because I'm not charging for me. I'm charging for what they're going to get. But some people need more. And what you do is you find out because you go into that next sales call, you remember that before the call, and you get through the call to the point where you have to talk about money. And if your gut goes, I don't want to do this. I hate this. I don't want to say those numbers, even though that's what's fair. That's what's good. That's what I need to charge. Now we've got a block. And now we
Right.
get
And
removed.
I find it doesn't matter what number it is. I find it could be $100. It could be $10,000. It doesn't really matter what the number is. I don't want to say the number.
Yeah.
And I don't have that issue so I've waited tables a lot through my life. And so I think about it a lot. Like I'm taking food to the table. I bring them the check. They pay. I expect them to leave me a tip.
You expect a tip because you did service.
Yes. But then transfer it to my own business.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes time to deliver the check, I'm like, here's the check. Here's the check. Here, you don't need the check. It's on the house.
It's on the house. It's on the house. And some of that, I think, also has to do with the fact that at the restaurant, you are physically giving them food.
Yes.
Right? And you are in a situation that there's an expectation. One of the first, so I'm assuming that your audience knows that you're Christian.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
if they don't, they haven't been around enough.
One of the first entrepreneurs that I coached many years ago, she came to me with a problem. She did editing and publishing, and she's for Christians specifically. And she said, as I'm starting this business, everybody's expecting a discount or for me to do it for free because we're all Christians.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the very first blogs I ever wrote about because it was like, why? Why do we expect a discount from somebody? And why do we expect that we have to give the fruits of our labor for free just because we're family?
That's good because we really do. And I've been in ministry for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard thing to shift.
Right.
And also I'm finding like this part of your makeup, what you do is like part of like how you operate on your daily life. It's like, how do I charge for just
being
what I offer to the world?
Right.
But you don't offer to the world what everybody else offers to the world. It's uniquely designed within you for that purpose. That's a tough lesson to learn, especially when you're walking in personal development and leadership development and those kinds of things for other people.
And when you're straddling that mission versus entrepreneurship, understanding that your mission work is still, you're still charging for it. You're still getting paid for it. It's just that all of it is going as an offering. So you've received and given right back in your time and your effort and all of those things. Whereas for entrepreneurship, you got to make money. You got to keep food on the table. You got kiddos, you got to feed them. They don't do well if you don't feed them.
Exactly. And I'm not super nice if you don't feed me.
Yeah. Yeah. And so your ministry becomes that tithe, that over tithe, because it's much more than 10% of your life or your wealth. But we lose that translation and we start to think, oh, well, They're doing ministry, so they should be doing it for everybody all the time. And that is the
Right.
surest way to burn out.
Yes. And
Having
my
just
husband
been
and I have been in ministry for a long time. And I've even found that in the music industry, it's the same way because we're worship leaders.
there. Mhm.
So to get paid to come and do a concert, for example, the average thing we've been paid is either nothing to maybe $400 or $500 for the whole thing. Most often we don't get paid. We're just leading worship. So it's really interesting because in the music industry where it's not worship leading, they're getting $50, $60, $70 a ticket a head. And then you have the overhead cost, of course. But when you're a Christian worship artist, even the big names, the people who know that those are either free concerts or $10 a head concerts.
Right.
So it's really a lot of that mentality carries through many veins of our work, our life's work.
Right. Yeah. And it's a balance, and it's, how much of what you're doing in your ministry does need to be sacrificial, and how much of it actually is entrepreneurial. And where do we draw those lines? And how do we figure out how to live while we're still giving back? Because I guarantee you that while we're supposed to give as much of us as we can, God never said, now make sure you starve to serve others.
Right.
Right? He was about building us up as people and understood our humanity. I'm actually going through the Old Testament with my husband. I'm like, I have never pronounced so many weird names in my entire life. It was like, why couldn't you just name all these people in Israel Joe or Lisa? Or
That's awesome. I want to go back to why do you think that we have a block for the ask? I think that's pretty common in the work that we do. And with a lot of the entrepreneurs and the business owners, that especially ones that are either solo or just getting started,
yeah,
have that block. I think it's a conversation that I have regularly, and I deal with it myself. And I'm also dealing with it with others. And so I would love for you to just kind of poke at that a little bit.
So what I find when I'm going in and helping remove the block is that a lot of times the cause is just an old story. And
Mm,
I wish that we could say, it's always that mom said this or dad said this or that you did this when you were little, but the story is different for everybody. And sometimes when you're doing the block reset, you'll find the block, and sometimes you just heal it. So,
I love that.
what we do when we're doing a reset is we go in and we're basically looking for the landmines. And that's what that is it's a landmine. It's something that happened when you were younger, usually. It comes in, you experience the world through your body in 3D. It comes up into your brain, and your brain looks at it and says, is this something that is going to kill me if I forget it? Or is it too much for me to process right now? And if the answer is no, puts it in long-term storage, it becomes as important as what you wore last Thursday. No, there's no emotional tie to it. If the answer is yes, this could kill me or hurt me if I forget it. Remember the brain's job, keep us alive. Or if it's too much for it to process right now, it basically builds what I like to call a little landmine and encapsulates it. Right? And stores it and says, we'll look at this later. We'll deal with this later. I need access. Okay, great. Only problem is that now we have a money story. Now we have something in our brain that every time that we start to think about asking for that price, we hit that little landmine and
Mm,
we feel that, ugh, and usually we avoid it. We do everything we can to not feel that. Traditional mindset teaches us to tiptoe around it. So
right.
all those affirmations, all of the exercises you do, the limiting beliefs exercise, which I still teach because it's still valuable. It just teaches you how to avoid it, and you have to maintain. Because if you don't maintain that exercise, eventually your brain's going to go back to the path of least resistance, which is right into that landmine, and you're going to get it every time.
Mm.
So what we do with the reset technique is we come in and we use your body and your brain. It's all over Zoom. There's no, magic or mystery to it. It's all neuro-based. We go in and we just remove the landmine. We let the body finish processing that memory in a safe way so that way the landmine is gone.
That's amazing.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. When I first started doing the technique and I was watching people who had been stuck for months or years doing the thing, they'd come back to me 2 weeks later and they're like, yeah, I did this and this and this and this and this. And I was like, you know how many months we've been trying to get you to do those things? And they're like, it just was easy. I just didn't feel bad. It was like there was a little bit of discomfort and I looked at it and went, yeah, okay, I'm just going to do it. Because the brain didn't need to save them anymore, save their lives. It was just, okay, let's do it.
It sounds so simple,
It
yet it sounds
is.
so
It's
complicated.
so weird. I actually have a client when I was doing the process with her, the whole time she kept going, this is so weird. This is so weird because she was dealing with a guilt issue. So you can do a lot of different things with this technique. I just focus on entrepreneurs. She said every time that she was thinking about the lie. So one of the things I'll do sometimes is the lie versus the truth. And you'll see this in mindset work, right? Where it's like,
Yes.
what's the truth and what's the lie?
Yes.
But when we do it on that deeper level, like I said, it removes it completely. So it doesn't come back. But every time she would go into the lie, she would kind of come down and crunch down, and then she'd go into the truth and she could breathe and she was up and open. And it was subconscious. It wasn't intentional. And I asked her, I was like, can I use this as a video? I said, just not necessarily the whole thing because it gets really personal. But I was like, this is so wonderful because you kept going, this is so weird. This is so weird. And at the end of it, the things that were making her cry at the beginning that kept her stuck, she was able to laugh at. Yeah. It changed everything for me, for my business, 100%. So I often talk about how so like I said, I used to do insulin resistance coaching.
Yes.
And I made $267 in my first 3 years. Not counting what I finally added up the other day was almost $30,000 in courses and coaches and money that I spent trying to learn how to market, how to do this thing. I did one Brainspotting session, which is the technique that I use for the reset. And I was profitable in 4 months.
That's a huge jump.
It's insane. Because what the thing was is that what was keeping me at $267 was the conversation that I had with the last coach that I hired, which was, I don't want to make a list of 20 people that I know and have to reach out to them and tell them what I'm doing and try to sell them.
Yeah.
I was very against it because my brain was protecting me and said, you don't want to be seen as a failure again. Because I'll tell you, this is not my first round at entrepreneurship. When I was in high school, I joined Amway. I didn't sell it. And then I joined Mary Kay when I was first married to my practice husband. I didn't sell it. And this has been over and over and over again. And I didn't want people to know that, oh, she's doing it again. And so
I
it was my fault.
resonate with that. Yes, I was 18 years old and started Mary Kay. That was my first. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, and 18 years old, trying to do Mary Kay parties, and I didn't even wear makeup. I was like,
I was allergic to it. You can see how much makeup I wear. I wear mascara and lipstick. And the only reason I'm wearing red is because I'm wearing red. So usually it's very muted. I don't, and like I said, I was allergic to it. I couldn't even wear it, but I was trying to sell it because I knew I wanted to do something that was my own.
yes.
But you can't build a business if you can't say the price.
Right.
Right? And so I spent years and years and years doing that. Now, my husband and I, in this same time period and before have a successful remodeling business, but it's his business. He brought it into the marriage. And there's something different about selling for somebody else. I've gotten sales awards my whole life. I could sell for you, because it's for somebody else. You don't have the emotional connection. Your brain doesn't say, you're going to be ousted. You're going to be hurt. You're going to die. It says, you need to do this and you need to be really good at it because this is how you're going to succeed. This is how you're going to feed yourself, stay in your home, all of those things. For some reason, the brain cannot figure that out on the other side.
Why in the world does our brain think we're going to die?
Because back when it was wired, back in early humanity, I tend to ascribe to creation as opposed to evolution. But, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, it was still hard. It was hard to survive, whether it was 6,000 years ago or 600,000 years ago. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
Right? Your brain had to protect itself.
It's interesting to me that we make these little stories and they turn into these little landmines. And I mean, if you look at it logically, asking for the number or saying the number is not going to kill you. So it's just really interesting to me to think, well, why does my brain think it will? It's like, stop it.
Because you will be either embarrassed or ousted from the tribe, which will cause you to starve.
But not asking for the sale causes you to starve.
Yes. Yes, it does. And why it can't put those two things together, I don't know. And something very odd is that women, especially, now it's not just women, but in general, we're being very general here. Women in general have more money blocks than men. Men have been taught, even if they feel it, do it anyway. It doesn't matter, which is why men in general tend to charge more money, tend to not have a problem starting their business and getting going as quickly. Whereas women, we're taught to trust our intuition, trust our instinct, respond to our bodies. Our brain is saying you're going to die. And we go, ooh, it's telling me something. So there is a small percentage of women and a larger percentage of men who can just push through it, which are those people that are very annoyingly doing very well. And you're like, why am I still stuck here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. And I think about my thought when you said that was like, we hide behind the stay-at-home mom because we know that we can nurture our children. And I think some people are wired for the stay-at-home mom thing. That's great. I'm not. I love to be home with my children, but I love to work. And so it's a really interesting thought process to think about why we might hide behind some of our identity roles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it's that safety because, if you were in a tribe of people and you couldn't go to the grocery store, if you pissed them off, you didn't eat.
Wow, that's primitive and insightful.
Yeah. And so next time that you're on that call, thank your brain for making it hard because it's just trying to protect you.
Nice. So what is one thing that you could say to someone who is listening to this going, yeah, but how? Or, something like that, because I know that we can reach out to you and have help. And that would be great. I would love for you to share how people can get in touch with you. But I also just want to know if there's like one thing that could just push somebody a little bit further to understanding in themselves.
So there's all different levels of blocks, things that will keep you stuck for years and years, and things that once you identify them, you can push through. And sometimes it's just helpful to identify the block. The conversation that we've had today about the sales calls might be enough that when you do your next sales call, you're like, okay, first of all, I'm not selling me, I'm selling the product, I'm selling the outcome. And I know that my brain, for some reason, thinks that I'm going to die and I'm not going to die. Okay, I can do this. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you need something more, right? So you can do the limiting beliefs exercises where you basically do the truth and the lie and you start to build that proof. That can be really helpful. There's a lot of little things you can do to do a stopgap to make things work until. But really, in my honest opinion, until you get the block removed, which does take someone who knows how to remove the block. I'm not the only person that can do it, but you want to look.
You're a good choice.
I'm a good choice. I'm
You're a good
I'm really
choice.
good at it.
Yes.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I've done like 250 sessions now, and I've two what I call failures, and it wasn't really failures. It was just
Learning experiences.
communication. Well, it was miscommunication, but people get something out of it. It's not about me. It's about the technique. So if you want to see a little bit about how the reset works and how it taps into your brain, what you can do is sit and think to yourself right now about the last time you were irritated by something. Okay? Could have been that fight with your husband over the laundry on the floor, could be traffic. Once you think about that and get a picture in your head, I want you to feel where it is in your body. And it's something that irritated you enough that you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Once you feel it, do you have it? Think about something. Okay. Where do you feel it?
Right here.
Right here. Okay. I want you to concentrate on that and think about the situation. I want you to open your eyes. And I want you to look all the way to your right, just with your eyeballs, thinking about that situation and that feeling in the back of your head. And then come back to center, still thinking about it, and go all the way to the left. Still thinking about it, still feeling it in your head. Is one side stronger than the other?
My left is stronger.
That's because your eyeballs are looking through your head at where it's stored. Now, yours just happened to be in the head. A lot of times it'll be in the stomach or the shoulders. Or I had one person, it was in their leg, because the body stores things 3D. And so what we'll do is we use your eyes and that sensation, and we complete that memory.
Huh. It's really interesting because when I looked to the right, it was almost difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I looked to the left, it was like, okay, I can see that.
So it may be actually on your right, because if it's too hard to look at it, we'll sometimes use techniques called like dosing, where you look over and then you look back and you look over and you look back, or, there's different ways to tap into it where it doesn't have to be painful or uncomfortable. We'll even make you remember memories if you don't want to. So
that's amazing. So, okay. Before we go, how can people get in touch with you to walk through these blocks with you? Because I feel like so many of us need this. Even if we didn't know we did, we've got to get unstuck. So how can they find you?
So jenniehayes.com, and you want to make sure you spell it right. It's IE, and then there's no E in Hayes. So JennieHays.com. Or you can email me directly. It's just Jennie at jenniehayes.com. I try to make it super simple. I'll also give you, Leslie, a link to a freebie that people can check out. It'll change over time. So I don't really want to tell you what it is right now. You'll have to come see, and then you can come back every quarter. It'll switch out. So you'll get to experience something new, even if actually walking through the block doesn't help. Sometimes these other tools can help you tiptoe around it. Don't give up on the mindset stuff, because it's a good maintenance, a good stopgap. But if you know that the block's there and it's not going away, there comes a time when it's time to just get rid of it. And so,
yeah.
And it's life-changing. Like I said, it's absolutely life-changing.
Jennie, you are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing so much with us. You've just been so generous with your expertise and with your thoughts and with your vulnerability. I really appreciate it.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me on here. And this has been fun. We need to do it again.
Hey, Radiant Leader, to dive deeper into our resources and connect with a powerhouse circle of like-minded leaders, come join our free community right now over at authenticvoiceleadership.com. I will meet you right back here next Tuesday. Your voice matters. Lead wild, lead free. Stay radiant, my friend.